Now at 5, Joplin's reducing its public transportation options. Plus, a common antibiotic is in short supply when many children need it. And
key races that will determine the balance of power in the U.S. Congress are still undetermined. I'm Natalie Brand on Capitol Hill with a look at where things stand and what's ahead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin Public Transport is reducing its public transportation service due to a driver shortage. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Joplin will suspend the Sunshine Lamp Trolley service until further notice, and riders will be referred to the MAPS service that provides curb-to-curb service. The suspension will start on November 28th.
While we are reducing our trolley routes and service for the time being, we are going to move into expanding our MAPS bus service, adding additional routes and additional staff.
MAPS has been in operation since 1997 and operated independently of the trolley until 2007. Galena High School is treating the local veterans to breakfast and performances from the band and choir on this day before Veterans Day. For 26 years, Galena's hosted veteran celebrations where students get to meet a local veteran and put on a performance showcasing patriotic music.
They're excited about it. It's just such a great opportunity for our kids to give back and also to meet some veterans that will be here. We're expecting 30 to 40 veterans to come back to us this year. And the kids have made posters and they've made videos to honor the veterans.
They also made flyers to show their support for local veterans. The American Legion Post 13 in Joplin took some time to plant American flags on the graves of veterans at Peach Church Cemetery.
We should honor our veterans because of the freedoms that they sacrificed. They sacrificed their lives for us. And so it's important that we recognize each person, whether they're living or they're deceased now, and give them thanks for the freedoms that we have today.
You can find more Veterans Day events on our website, koamnewsnow.com/events. Here comes the cold front, and here comes Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we have a strong cold front that is shifting through the region as we speak, really from about Stockton Lake, Lamar, just south of Pittsburgh, Oswego, and then all the way back toward Nowata. You have 50s behind it, you have 70s ahead of it, and right along and behind that front, we're seeing showers, even some thunderstorms starting to pick up, really increasing in our western counties. And this is going to be the trend as we go through the evening hours. You can see these scattered showers, a few little thunderstorms starting to increase across the region. Let's go through the evening hours. Most of the rain stays on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side over the next few hours. But once we get past 10, 11 o'clock, then it will start to advance in to southwestern parts of Missouri. Temperatures drop back into the 50s, down to 35 tonight. Big cool down for us tomorrow. We'll break it all down for you here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Ballot counting from the 2022 midterm elections is still not over, with a number of key races left to be determined. We're waiting to learn which party will control the House and which party will control the Senate. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
You know, Tuesday was a good day for America, a good day for democracy, and it was a strong night for Democrats.
President Biden thanked Democratic staffers and volunteers for their midterm wins, but acknowledged he'll need bipartisan support in Congress moving forward.
Regardless of what the final tally showed, I'm prepared to work with Republicans. But the American people have made it clear they expect Republicans to work with me as well.
It will be weeks before all the U.S. Senate races are settled.
Are you ready to do this one more time?
With the Georgia contest scheduled for a runoff election in early December.
And I did warn y'all that we might be spending Thanksgiving together.
Incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock is hoping to repeat his 2021 runoff success. Republican challenger Herschel Walker returns to the campaign trail tonight.
We got less than a month, and I can put up with a month. Because right now this seat is a lot bigger than Herschel Walker. And I know they're going to throw more at me, even the kitchen sink, but I can catch it.
It's not just the Georgia Senate seat that's up in the air. Election officials in Nevada say counting there could last into next week.
We couldn't go any faster now, even if we wanted to. We in the state of Nevada must wait until Saturday to receive any of those ballots that were put into the United States Postal Service and postmarked by November 8th.
The razor-thin race between incumbent Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto and Republican Adam Laxalt is still a toss-up. Arizona's Senate race leans Democratic, but ballots there are also still being processed. Control of the U.S. House leans Republican, but dozens of races haven't yet been determined, including some key battleground districts from coast to coast. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy has already announced his plan to run for the House Speaker position and named a transition team to help make the switch to the majority if the GOP does win control of the House. Russia says it's pulling out of a key region in the south of Ukraine. The military says it's withdrawing from Kherson, a move seen as a huge defeat for President Vladimir Putin. Putin annexed that region in September, making it part of Russia. For now, the city remains under Russian occupation. Backed by U.S. and international aid, though, Ukraine is now moving in, but with extreme caution, wary of a possible trap. The Washington Commanders football team is at the center of a civil protection lawsuit filed today by the District of Columbia Attorney General's office. That suit accuses the team, owner Dan Snyder, the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, all of them, of colluding to deceive fans. The AG says the team and league violated consumers' rights based on what they knew about the organization's workplace misconduct. The Commanders are the subject of multiple ongoing investigations into workplace culture, potential financial improprieties. Lawyers representing the team say the Commanders welcome this opportunity to defend the organization in a court of law. Still ahead, safety on the road.
A new series of tests looks at how smaller cars perform in a crash. I'm Naomi Ruckham, and I'll have the results.
But first, the latest on the shortage of a common antibiotic. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a common antibiotic is in short supply at a time of year when a lot of children need it. Experts say the shortage of amoxicillin is concerning given the unusually high amount of respiratory viruses spreading right now. Dr. Malika Marshall has more.
As cases of RSV, the flu, and COVID are increasing, so are concerns about treating secondary bacterial infections children can develop that require antibiotics.
Amoxicillin is related to penicillin. It's one of the most commonly used antibiotics, particularly in children, and it can be used for conditions like sore throat or ear infections.
The FDA recently added amoxicillin oral powder to the drug shortages list, citing increased demand. Pharmacists use the powder to make the liquid type of the medication that's easier for kids to take.
To have a shortage on something like that's pretty shocking.
Pharmacy owner Clarence Sullivan says parents can call around to see what pharmacies have the drug in stock.
We don't have certain medications like amoxicillin even available to us, so it's a search and find for patients at this point.
If you're not able to track down amoxicillin at one of your local pharmacies, is to ask your pediatrician or doctor to prescribe an alternative.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder also says not all infections need antibiotics.
Only bacterial infections will respond to an antibiotic. Unnecessary exposure to antibiotics breeds resistance to those antibiotics. And particularly when we're in the situation of a shortage, we should use those antibiotics carefully.
The FDA says it's working with approved manufacturers to help prevent drug shortages. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News, Boston.
Amoxicillin is also used to treat bacterial infections involving the skin and urinary tract. A new study finds having high blood pressure increases the odds of getting severe COVID by 22%. Researchers in Britain looked at more than 16,000 people with COVID and found successfully reducing blood pressure through medication was linked to a corresponding reduction in risk. New research finds a mindfulness stress-reducing program is just as effective as a common antidepressant when it comes to treating anxiety disorders. Researchers from Georgetown University found both treatments resulted in a roughly 30% drop in the severity of a patient's anxiety. And a new study might encourage older adults in the U.S. to take part in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Researchers from Columbia University found people who took part in that government food program slowed their memory decline by 2 years compared to those who did not. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, new car side crash tests.
Plus, we have showers, even a few thunderstorms increasing. I'll have those details coming up. Well, it's definitely been a cloudy day for us today. We've had some showers, even a few thunderstorms increasing over the past couple hours, and this is going to be the trend as we go through the evening hours. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Cloudy skies, mostly cloudy skies across the region. Check out this strong cold front that is working in. We have 50s, even dropping to 48 in Yates Center, and then everybody in front of the front mainly sitting into lower 70s, but you can see it's really from Lamar, just west of Columbus, just to the west of Veneta. So everybody, your temperatures are going to be dropping tonight, and rain will be increasing. It's dry, 7th and range line, 73 south winds at about 10, humidity is at 59%. Through the evening hours, 60s, 50s, down probably into the 40s by midnight, overnight low down to about 35 with that rain increasing. You can see it picking up Kansas and Oklahoma throughout the afternoon and now starting to intensify just a little bit and also spread out in coverage. This is what we will see as we go through the evening hours. Heaviest rain, far western counties, Iola, Chanute, Fredonia, and Neodesha down toward Independence, but there are some embedded little thunderstorms in here. So just south of Yates Center, just to the west of Fredonia, we can track a little bit farther south. Here's Independence in Montgomery County, out towards Sedan, pretty good little thunderstorm. Everything ahead of this is just kind of random light sprinkles, light showers. But look at this storm system. We have snow to the north, blizzard in North Dakota, and then of course Florida has been dealing with Hurricane Nicole that made landfall earlier today. All right, let's go through time. Here's 7 p.m., rain picking up. Kansas, Oklahoma side, we can move to 8:30. We can go to about 10 o'clock, some light showers moving into the metro. The heaviest rain still, Kansas back through Oklahoma. By about midnight, rain starts picking up southwest Missouri, and then 1, 2, 3 o'clock, the heaviest rain working through. Look at our temps. We're into the lower 40s at this point in time. Heaviest rain out of here by about 4:30 in the morning, and then most of the rain out of here early tomorrow morning, but on the Kansas side may mix with a little bit of sleet in some of those showers late tonight. Rain chance is really increasing, best chance 11 to about 1 a.m., and then it will slowly taper off from that point on. Rainfall amounts, we need the rain. I think a lot of areas will pick up a ½ an inch, maybe upwards to an inch in some spots. Once we get rid of this system, stays chilly tomorrow. High temps only going to go into lower 40s. Clouds increase again late in the day, and upper level wave passes to our south. So our southern counties, you may get a few flurries, maybe even a random snow shower tomorrow evening. Then we break out and our temperatures plummet by the time we head into Saturday morning, all the way down into lower 20s. 43 for us tomorrow, 44 Saturday, 50 on Sunday. We're right on the northern edge of a storm system Monday, so right now we're going to go slight chance for a rain-snow mix, but much colder over the next week compared to what we have seen.
Yeah, temperature dropping as we speak.
You got it.
Thanks, Doug. We have some video from Hurricane Nicole making landfall early along the east coast of Florida today before quickly losing some punch, being downgraded to a tropical storm as it moved over central Florida. As the storm made its way up the east coast, some coastal communities are left with severe damage. Its damaging coastal surge was hitting beachfront properties in Daytona beach shores that lost their last protections during Hurricane Ian. Coming up, new side crash tests for small cars. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Benjamin Baxter of Bella Vista, Arkansas, served in the U.S. Army Arkansas National Guard as a specialist. He was part of the 142nd Field Artillery attached with the 321st FA 82nd Airborne, and we're proud to salute Benjamin Baxter, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, there's good and bad news with the latest inflation numbers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says overall prices are up 7.7% from last year, which is a bit of a slowdown. But prices for a lot of necessities continue to rise, and that includes groceries, up by more than 12%. This Thanksgiving is going to be a pricey one. The cost of turkey is up almost 17% from a year ago, and other items for your holiday feast are also getting more expensive. Side crashes account for around a quarter of car deaths in the U.S. That's according to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. For the first time, the independent safety organization crash tested small cars with a newer, heavier barrier. That's in order to determine how safe some models are in collisions with today's bigger and faster trucks and SUVs. Experts say the results surprised them. Naomi Ruckham reports.
11 small cars were put to the test by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety to see how well they could stand up to a side impact crash.
We expected small cars to really struggle in this test, but that simply was not the case.
IIHS President David Harkey says this is the first time the small cars were tested with its new larger, faster barrier.
The vehicles are much heavier that are striking other vehicles, and they're also occurring at higher speeds.
While all 11 of the same car models received good ratings using the old barrier, this time only 7 cars received a good or acceptable rating, with the Mazda 3 topping the list. The Kia Forte and Subaru models were rated poor. Harkey says small cars performed better than some of the more popular SUV classes earlier this year in the same test.
I would not hesitate to go purchase one of these vehicles. If they're willing to wait a couple years and see how these vehicles are performing, they can do that as well and have an even safer vehicle.
IIHS scientists look at how well the structure of the vehicle stays intact, the potential for injuries to the passengers, and how well the side airbags work when determining ratings for tested cars. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety also hands out safety awards. This year's picks were evaluated using the previous barrier. Starting next year, the newer, heavier barrier will be standard in testing and in awards criteria. The parent company of Facebook, Meta, is the latest social media company to slash jobs. 11,000 employees were laid off after the company lost $700 billion in value. Comes the same day digital real estate broker Redfin announced it's also going to cut 13% of its workforce. That affects more than 800 jobs. Adidas says it plans to sell more Yeezy products next year, but under a different name. The German sportswear company cut ties with rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, last month after his controversial anti-Semitic comments. Ye owns the trademark for the name Yeezy, but Adidas says it owns the designs. The company projected it would lose close to $250 million in revenue this year following the split from the Grammy Award winner. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how record inflation is contributing to staggering credit card debt. Then on KOAM News at 6, man charged with operating a gambling house is now being sued by the business that supplied him with the machines. Plus, some Missouri parents are skeptical of a report showing no radiation concerns at their children's school. And the Pitt State Gorillas shoot for an undefeated football season as they prepare for Fort Hays State. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Oops, beer truck gets busted in Chile. The truck lost cargo after being involved in a traffic accident in Santiago, and this is the result. People in the area salvaging beer cans from the lost cargo truck. Yeah, the damaged cans on the road were later discarded. Police officers detained 7 people who stole part of the remaining beer cans that were still inside the truck. People loading up the grocery carts there.
Well, people like their beer.
Obviously. Another lesson, apparently alcohol and driving do not mix.
That's very true.
Different ways. Okay, the temperature, it's dropping right now.
It is. A strong cold front rolling through, so everybody eventually tonight will be down into the mid-30s. We're going to have rain most of the night, showers mixing in with some thunderstorms. A lot of clouds tomorrow, much cooler high temp, only 43 degrees.
Ooh, it's chilly. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here at 6 We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.